Are criminal brains more developed or less developed than an average human brain? The frontal lobe is placed right in front of the brain. Its main functions are to control emotions, decision-making, and reasoning. People with antisocial personality disorder usually have this part of the brain much smaller. The frontal lobe is divided in two parts. In the brain of a criminal, one part is 18% decreased, and the other part is 9% decreased. This means criminals may lack of emotions and can go ahead and make corrupt decisions. The amygdala also becomes much smaller, and this can decrease the chances of being fearful and the reactions towards fear. The amygdala helps you with having fear towards the things that have hurt you. For example, if a person attacks you physically, then the next time you see that person, you'll be fearful. And it also controls aggression, but since it has defects in the brain of criminals, this is the reason why criminals are so violent towards others. Here you can notice the lack of tissue in a murderer's brain compared to the average human brain. This can lead to the continuous acts of violence of that person because there is few activity happening in that brain at that certain moment. A tumor can also contribute to the actions of a criminal. For example, if you have a tumor in your brain, that tumor can actually trigger you to do certain things. For example, in criminals, it can help them act even more violent without them knowing that they're mentally ill. Norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin are all chemicals in the brain called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters cause the brain to send signals to the rest of our body to work well. In a criminal brain, for example, if there are high levels of serotonin, that means that there are higher levels of getting more obsessed with something or being more compulsive, and this means being more aggressive. So in a normal human, that wouldn't usually happen. The levels would stay regulated the whole time and there would be normal actions. Adverse childhood experiences are all those moments that a child had, whether they were bad or good, that contribute to their violent actions. For example, if the child was abused physically, emotionally, or sexually, this can cause a permanent scar, if that would be a good definition, and them to be violent towards other people, and also being neglected, physical or emotional. And household dysfunction is a very special factor because maybe he or her saw their mother being treated violently, their parents separating, substance abuse in the family, someone in jail. Mental illness can also be a factor and can sometimes be transmitted to other generations. Schizophrenia is a disorder which affects how a person is feeling or acting or even thinking. And when a person has this disorder, they usually can't differentiate between reality and imagination. This type of disorder isn't triggered by childhood experiences, but it can sometimes be through the genes and through abnormalities in the brain. Antisocial personality disorder is a mental disorder that consists in the manipulation and the violation of the rights of others. The specific cause of antisocial personality disorder is unknown, but childhood abuse and bad examples in childhood can contribute to having this disorder. The symptoms to this disorder is manipulating other people's emotions and constantly breaking the law. Also, people that have this disorder usually never show guilt or feel bad for what they did, whether it's killing a person or breaking the law or stealing from someone. In borderline personality disorder, the experiences in this person's life usually result in impulsive or negative behavior. This person also has an unstable mood and suffers from anxiety and suicidal thoughts. This person also sees him or herself in a negative way when it comes to body image or self-worth, and it also happens more on women.